across WA. This is Spirit Drive with Matt. Thanks to Chandler McLeod Group, your mining and resources recruitment specialists. Many vacancies, apply today. cmgjobs.com.au.
Right across Western Australia, this is Spirit Drive, and it is time for my next guest. He's been making the world laugh for about 30 years now. It's safe to say Australia is this bloke's second home, and you know what? We will claim him, just like we do with Russell Crowe at times. Arj Barker, a privilege to chat with you right now on Spirit Drive.
Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
Mate, 2018, what a time to be alive. The United States is plodding along with President Donald Trump, the UK begrudgingly working out how to get out of the European Union. Meanwhile, in Australia, a bit of Bunnings sandpaper on a cricket ball has chucked the nation into crisis.
Yeah, there's a whole lot going on. Those are all three equally important issues that you've stated. And I think out of those three, if I had to be in the middle of one, I'd rather be in the cricket crisis.
What did you think of the cricket crisis as it was breaking? Did you just think, what is this country going on about?
Not really. I mean, I understood. It was fairly simple to get my head around. You know, a couple players, you know, tried to cheat basically by modifying the ball. But, you know, I've seen similar scandals in sports back home. And we had a really famous one called Deflategate with Tom Brady and the Patriots. Where they accused them of, I guess, letting some air out of the ball or something. I'm not quite sure. But, I mean, these things happen, and it's really disappointing. But all jokes aside, it's really saddest for the young fans, you know, the kids that really look up to. I think as adults, you expect someone to cheat. You're used to people cheating. You're used to being, you know, politicians cheating, and you kind of have a more jaded view of humanity. But I think as kids, that these are absolute heroes, too.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad, you know, when they have to see their heroes basically cheat. And I think I just made this whole interview kind of depressing.
A little bit. We might have to perk it up a bit. But of course, you've been spending time in our fair nation. What other material have you been able to use and generate while you've been here?
I mean, too much to mention on the interview. I've been coming out here for 15 years, and I've written a lot of material based on my time in Australia. Let's see, is there anything Australian? Yeah, there's some stuff in the organic tour about Australian and the different sayings that they employ, and that's a lot of fun without giving it away. But there's some stuff that's about Australia, and then a lot of the humor I focus on, and my ideal source of material is about universal issues, things that all humans can relate to.
I do also love the fact you're one of the few Americans that can pronounce Melbourne and Brisbane correctly instead of Melbourne and Brisbane. And I think for people who haven't seen your style and looking at you the very first time, you've pretty much won them over just there.
That's not too hard to get used to doing, pronouncing them correctly. Although, as far as, you know, the English language and how the rules for when you pronounce certain things, I don't know if calling it Melbourne is correct. But I think that is more to do with the accent and a generally agreed upon methodology. But I think maybe the R should be pronounced according, again, to the rules of the King's English. But I'm not an expert. I'm just guessing at that.
Now, you've been doing the comedy circuit and all the late night shows for a number of years. I remember actually watching you back in, I think it was 1999 on Hey Hey It's Saturday, one of our big variety shows here. I mean, do you still get a feeling of the butterflies, or does it just come naturally these days?
No, for sure. I mean, when you're about to do a TV spot, that's exciting, you know, because you're putting yourself out there, and if it goes wrong, then it's, you know, it's going wrong in front of a lot of people. And I think that's enough to give anyone a bit of a boost adrenaline-wise, and it's very exciting. But it's also fun. I try to look at it as fun, like, you know, quite thrilling, like if you're about to do a parachute jump or bungee or you know, something very exciting, go down a big hill on skis or whatever. It's a similar sort of feeling.
Yeah.
Kind of time to do it, no backing out now feeling.
Well, you're in Melbourne right now. In May, you're going to be coming back to Western Australia. You were here recently for Perth Fringe World for your Keeper or Crapper show. Now, that was basically to develop what you're doing in Melbourne right now. Is that right?
That's right, because I'm at the tail end of my organic tour, which is what I'm about to bring out to WA, and I'm also overlapping that with the very first stages of my subsequent tour, my latest tour, which is called We Need to Talk, which eventually I will bring out to WA as well. So I'm not going to I'm not going to not bring one of my tours around.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not good for anybody.
We're seeing a wave of comedians with their own TV shows like Peter Hellier, Hughesy, Tom Gleeson. Is that something you would probably consider yourself?
Yeah, I would, but it would have to be one that I really believed in and really wanted to do. I don't just want to get on TV just for the sake of getting on TV, which is, by the way, I'm not suggesting those guys do either, and that, you know, they're all friends of mine, and you know, good on them, and I respect their careers plenty. But yeah, for me personally, you know, it had to be something that I was pretty excited about doing, because otherwise, being a comedian and just booking gigs and doing gigs, it has so much freedom and artistic and creative freedom, and freedom to schedule when you want, and you're not beholden to a network or producers, which is fine. Again, if it's the right thing, it would be very exciting, and I intend to do some TV and some film coming up. But I want to, you know, I only want to do things that I'm particularly excited about, or barring that, I'll just continue to be a comedian, because I can make a living doing this, and I love it. We'll see, you know, we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, I'm just on tour doing my thing.
Absolutely. It'll come organically. That's, of course, the name of your show, which is coming to Western Australia. May the 1st in Mandurah, May the 2nd in Bunbury, then off to Perth for a few days. Geraldton on the 9th of May, plus also gigs in Kalgoorlie and Albany. For tickets, you can jump onto arjbarker.com. It's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Enjoy the rest of your run in Melbourne. Looking forward to seeing you very soon here in Western Australia.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for having me on the show.
The amazing Arj Barker right here on Spirit Drive. We'll be back right after this.